I feel like I'm in the club.
What up, everybody? Pre-COVID. You weren't even in the club in pre-COVID.
I was not.
We can kill the music.
When was the last time you were in the club?
He up here talking about I was in the club. Come on over. They can't see
I'm
right
pulling
here.
up the skin tight jeans I'm wearing.
Well, if you got skin tight jeans on, stand up and let the people know. Just want to let you know.
Yeah, we're just skin tight here.
They can't see you over here. Remember?
Yes.
He's trying to forget about y'all Instagram. I always
Never. Ever
I gotta be the director, the producer.
These are my people. My people.
All right.
Happy Friday. Happy Wine Night. Happy Donut Friday. We're very, very happy that you joined us this Friday, as you do every Friday.
Do we have wine?
We're not wine. So we still promote the Dry Farm wines because we love their support for our.
But we do have. What are you drinking?
I'm drinking. It looks clear, but it's got a kick. We're drinking a little.
We got vodka and soda.
Spritz.
All right, we're changing it up. So tonight I have old fashioned. Is my favorite drink. But before you guys log on and off, I have something to say.
Oh snap!
There is a huge surprise happening for Scott in 20 minutes. You get it? 20 minutes. There is a huge surprise.
I just felt tingle under my armpit.
Okay.
Like, because that means it's about to flow.
I'm
sweating.
Flow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a big surprise happening for Scott in 20 minutes. And it's going to be really fun. We're going to the next level. We have a couple things to talk about. I have some questions for you tonight. So if you see my eyes doing this, I have YouTube up there and Instagram down here. But we are engaged.
Do we want to throw up the Dry Farm Wines thing?
We can throw up Dry Farm Wines.
You know Dry Farm Wines. It's not in our glasses this evening, but however, they are organic. They are low sugar. They are low alcohol, and it is an amazing product that my personal testimony is. What is my personal testimony?
You don't get a hangover.
I don't get a hangover like I do when I drink other things.
It is amazing though. Like, you should get it. I got it a year ago.
Dryfarmwines.com.
It's the only wine I drink.
/Shaun T.
All right. So moving on.
Putting it up.
Okay. So moving on from there. I have a surprise for you. Oh, he's always, Scott. Scott is the business person in our relationship. He's like, these people need to buy this wine.
Can I just say this? I love surprises. I love surprises, especially from the person sitting to my right.
Because I have the bomb surprises, y'all. Literally the bomb surprises. All right, I'm going to move on. Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say, I have no idea what it is. He completely surprised me the night of our wedding. Every aspect of the wedding was a complete surprise. If you're interested, go to Shaun. If you Google Shaun T wedding, you will see.
But don't Google it now.
Yeah, don't do. Yeah, sorry. Go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I love you.
Oh.
All right.
So every time he says it makes me want to cry.
Okay, well, go ahead and cry. All right. Can we just show them we have donuts, and then I got to jump into some conversation?
Because I'm going to be eating them while you're talking. These are Fonuts. They're gluten free. He can't eat them because it's almond.
Wait, so I don't even get donuts tonight?
You said not.
I asked if we could order the donuts that were what about those vegan donuts that y'all be getting?
No.
I thought
stop the bus. Stop
is it too late
the bus.
to order DK donuts?
Stop the bus. I was going to order DK donuts.
Yeah, but when
you said no, because you got to get this body right for filming. And I was like, okay.
Oh, this body is right as right can be.
I had this planned. Everything was coming, and I was ordering the donuts. He's like, don't order me donuts. I'm like, why not?
Let me tell y'all about Scott, though, y'all.
What?
Let me tell you about Scott.
While I'm eating donuts? Strawberry donuts?
I can't eat almonds. Scott and Chip and Elliot are a testimony to this a couple nights ago. Chip, Elliot, myself, we're sitting around the counter. We sitting around the counter. Chip, Elliot, myself, sitting around the counter.
Where's the lip balm? I need to put it on for Melissa.
Okay. All
Melissa
right.
Knowles, sorry.
All right, so Chip, Elliot, and I are sitting around the kitchen counter and just having a really great evening of eating healthy. We actually had a healthy salad. We were eating very healthy.
Who made it?
Anyway, moving on.
Who made it?
No. Let me tell my story.
Okay.
So we're sitting there. Scott had to go. Scott ran out to get something. We're like, we're feeling good. Well, Elliot's a whole nother story. We have to force him to work out. But me and Chip are like in it, right? So we're sitting around the counter. Elliot does eat pretty healthy.
He loves a corn dog.
And Scott walks in the house and's like, oh, I figured we all should have something tonight, and got all of us a drink. He had wine. I had an old fashioned. Chip had some hard cider. I don't know what he had.
Kombucha, get it right.
Kombucha, whatever. So the thing is, like, you cannot live with him. Actually, if you live with Scott, you will definitely be motivated to work out, but you will have to turn down some of these snacks. Just like last night, I'm sitting there again, having to film, minding my business, keeping it cool.
Minding his business.
Well, I don't mind my business ever.
Minding his business. When is the last time that's actually ever happened? Where you kept quiet and didn't say anything and we're like,
I don't ever mind my business. I don't ever mind my business. But and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, abracadabra, hocus pocus, you see a whole thing of gluten-free chocolate cupcakes on the counter. It's like, why would you even put this in there knowing? I think he's trying to test my willpower.
I love having a good time. I love putting smiles on people's faces. I love having a cocktail, and I love me a sweet, especially when it's chocolate. Okay.
All right. So anyway,
all I know is, so I like, if I like it, I want other people to put a smile on their face too. So that's why I do it.
All right. Moving on to the show. One of the things that, we have our History Holds Power shirt on, and our apparel team, which consists of one person. Our apparel team just really thought a lot about just my message and how bold I am when I say something in direct. And, he pays a lot of attention to what I do, but be it fitness and family. And I just love these History Holds Power Shaun T apparel shirts. But the thing is, I wear this with pride. We have like tote bags, but I wanted to discuss, just interracial relationships and how we celebrate Black history in our household. And believe it or not, and a lot of people, thank you, Oceans.
Oh, Oceans 1313.
Your workouts are bomb, and I love you guys. Thank you so much
tip.
on YouTube. We got a tip. Every time we get a tip, we should have a song.
We should dance.
I should create a song.
You should.
Yeah, I should.
I'm down.
All right, we're gonna do that next week. Okay. So anyway, believe it or not, I speak Black history pretty much all the time, just the culture where I'm from. But Scott takes our boys on a hike when we're home in Phoenix. Scott takes our boys on a hike every single day and stops at one of the Black statues in our neighborhood, who is Paul Robeson. And it's really cool to have the boys come back and just spit out facts about Black history that Scott has taught them. I just think that's really dope and really cool.
Oh, thanks.
And, we were kind of having a conversation before we got out here, and how and why and how he relates to Black history. And I think that what's really important is how you relate to Black history and minorities. Because a lot of people say, I don't see color. You're married to a Black man. One of your kids is fully Black. The other kid is Black mixed. So like, how do you relate as a white man to Black history, and, and be honest about your story?
Yeah. So I remember, I was raised in Everett, Washington. Shout out to all those Everettonians. I don't even know if that's true.
Everettonians.
But I just remember my life was, I went to school. I went to middle school, elementary school, high school, and it just was normal. Like, there was the stresses that I had was that we didn't have any money, and I was growing up gay. And I just remember being in high school, and there was maybe 3 Black people in my high school, and 2 of them were brothers and sister. It was like they were twins. And so I just remember thinking to myself that I didn't feel like I had any friends or people that were like me in high school. And I wondered if they felt the same way, because there was no other Black people at my school. And it wasn't until I went to college, I graduated from high school and went to college at SMU, Southern Methodist University, where I was completely immersed in racial, not diversity. It was like the Black people sat on one side of the lunchroom and the white people sat on the other side. I was like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why are we not getting together? And so I felt a connection to the African-American culture, the Black people, because I thought to myself, in Seattle, there wasn't a lot of them. So I felt alone. I thought maybe they felt alone. And so I tried to attach and befriend and kind of connect with them, because I felt alone as a gay person, and I didn't see anyone else that was like me in my school or whatever, or that I would want to hang out with. There was one friend, but I was like, well, not trying to be gay. I'm trying to be straight. My whole life, I'm trying to be straight. And there was a friend of mine who was teased as gay, and I was teased as gay, and whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I just relate to that. And I have realized in my own self analyzation moment is that I really connected to it because growing up, there was not a lot of Black people in Seattle, in my neighborhood growing up. And I thought I connect to that because there wasn't a lot. So I was like, well, they must feel the same way that I'm feeling. And so let's be friends. Because when people who are feeling alone, like they need a friend, I need a friend, let's all be friends together.
I think a lot of people may have this question. I don't even know if y'all have this question, but I think it's a question that I have that I don't think I've ever asked you in the 10 years that we've been together. But, you know, a lot of people out there, you know, they're either in relationships or they have best friends that are Black, or they're not racist, or they don't have that, you know, they don't just have that hatred or even whatever in their heart. And, you know, I want to know what is it like being married to a Black man? Like, do you feel it? Do you see it? Like, what are the things that you see that are different for you?
It's funny because I was just thinking about that as you were asking the question right before. And I thought to myself, you know, I used to say, well, I don't see color because I wasn't raised to see color. But I'm like, let's be honest. I see that people around me are different shades of whatever, and they have, you know, different facial features, and they have different body types, whatever. So that's not, I mean,
body, yada, 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 yada.
So I noticed that other people have other differences about them. However, I will say that when I see people, I actually think when I see you or I see Chip or Elliot or whatever, or I'm around people who are younger than me or whatever, I immediately assimilate and think I am the same thing as them. Oddly, like while I know that you're Black, I instantly think when I'm with your family, I'm like, well, I'm Black. I'm young. Or I'm hanging out with, if I'm hanging out with like our sitters, Des and Mackenzie, they're younger than me. I think I'm their age, right? I might be a little bit older, but
you're like chameleon, you vibe with them.
Yes. And so I just kind of think, okay, yeah, I adapt to the situation I'm in, and I don't want to say I don't see color, but I do. What's it like living with a husband who's Black? He's a person who has an amazing personality, has lots of fun, and can be loud.
Act Black. I act Black.
He is 100%.
You brought up the lunchroom, and I'm going to be Black for a second.
Go right ahead.
Because I think that us Black folk, we have a culture, you know, and I think that it's okay for white people to say Black people. You know, a lot of times they say African American. Yeah. I think it's okay for me when you say Black people were loud in the lunchroom. I'm like, we sure the fuck were. And the reason why is because our culture, like if I look at my family in the way you were raised, while I think there's always a cross culture, right? There's plenty of white people that may have the same style or whatever. Like I've been to almost every continent in the world. And when I walk past a Black man specifically, we do this.
All right now.
Here we go. All right. We don't say another word, but we nod. And Scott has noticed that.
I think it's crazy. I just remember walking down the street and everyone, you know, if you're in Spain or you're somewhere and it's y'all make connection, it's like, all right now.
And the same thing with Black women. Like I can be at the store. I can be in Germany and I walk into a store with a Black woman, and it's this really universal culture of like, I always help everyone, but for some reason, if I see a Black woman with kids, I'm like, ma'am, would you want me to carry your cart? Do you want me to carry you? It's like, it's this thing that we have as our culture. Not to say that you guys don't have it as culture, whatever you are, but it's just the way we were raised.
No, sorry, go ahead.
I just want to say, you know, I was raised by Black women that were respect, speak when spoken to, yes, ma'am, miss, and you know, that's just the way I was raised. And so, you know, I think it's okay for us Black people, be it in a racial relationship. I mean, if I live in a house with 3 other white guys and my kids, and I'm definitely the loudest one.
He's loud. He's proud. He is. So I was going to ask the question. So Chip and Elliot, do you guys, like when you walk down the street and you see other white people, do you give the nod?
Talk loud.
No. And it's like, maybe, is it because we're in a world of white people and we're not that minority, or
Funny, if I knew they were gay, I would.
oh,
For me, like maybe like the Midwestern, like respecting your elders. Like if I were to like, I would like go out and hold the door for like
Yeah,
older
yeah,
woman,
yeah.
like an older man. Like,
yeah.
So Chip said, while he wouldn't obviously nod to another white man or white person, but if he recognized, if you get, there's the such thing as a gay stare, like if another
is.
gay's in the room,
Yeah.
he would do it then. And Elliot spoke for people who may not have heard. Elliot said, it's about respecting the elders. He's from the Midwest, and so I think that there's I think everyone has some sort of culture. I remember going to living in Istanbul, Turkey, and there is a culture. Like there's a definitive culture amongst the entire country. No matter where you go, it is the culture. Whereas here in America, because it is the melting pot, if you will, even though I think we have a long way to go for everyone to accept that melting pot and the fact that we are freedom of this and that, we have our individual cultures here. And as you all know, a lot of people come to America to live and they bring their families. A lot of people who I grew up with, their families came from Poland or Russia no,
Okay,
from Poland or Russia. And so anyway, I only asked you that question because I think it's okay for you to recognize that I'm Black. I love, we were, and when I was in school, I was one of those people at the Black table. And the teachers came over to us and told us to be quiet. But I'm like, that's our culture. Anyway, I'm talking a lot. Right?
No. I was gonna say, I remember it was a fun experience to go from Everett, Washington, which was 95% white, 4% Asian, and there's a couple Black people, and then go to Dallas, Texas, which is where it was literally what the statement was at SMU was, if you're going to SMU and you're Black, you're an athlete. You're not going there for any other reason because it was a wealthier school. I was an athlete, so I got a scholarship, and they had a great soccer program and then a great business school. But it's like, to see to go from nothing to children of what I thought at the time was racism or race relations or whatever. It was like, wow, it was amazing. And then when I graduated and I started playing professional soccer, Daniel Barber, Rudy Dolscat, and Mike Araujo, I remember my first season playing in Cincinnati. February rolled around. They're like, all right, guys, like, Scott, it's Black History Month. You're going to read these books. You're going to watch these movies. And I was like, this is so cool. Like we never got that in high school, but I think it's fun learning about that because, education.
Yeah,
Educated.
I think speaking of high school, so I went to a high school, and when I was in high school, we had race riots, we had sit-ins, there was a fight all the time. It was like my high school, believe it or not, it was a lot of fighting and whites and Blacks. And my mom was chased by the Ku Klux Klan. I will say that again. My mother and her friend, when they were, I think, younger teenagers, were chased by the Ku Klux Klan. So a lot of people out there don't understand and that's why, like, anyway, a lot of people I don't understand, like, why, number one, Black history is so important to us. Martin Luther King, the state we live in, Arizona, only approved Martin Luther King so they could have the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right. So this was what 20 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a while now.
Anyway, but you have to understand, like, the culture and Black history, it runs so deeper than just like, oh, it's that month.
And I remember, and we've talked about this in one of our happened, like police brutality or other things, wrongful convictions. Like in my little utopia, if you will, it was like, okay, everyone is, if someone does something bad, they get in trouble. If they, play by the rules, the law, then they don't get in trouble. So, anytime you see it on TV or when you're raised in that kind of persona, you're like, it doesn't really exist. Like it only happens in TV land. Yeah. And then when you move to a city or a country, or not a country, but a part of the United States that it happens, you're like, wait, what's going on here? Like this isn't TV. Like why?
Yeah, I think the fact that, there are people like you who've never seen it, so they see it and they look like it's somebody acting out or what the media portrays
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, I'm only gonna switch subjects.
Okay.
So anyway, we wanted to talk about that because our family is completely interracial. I mean, we have I'm black, he's white, we got a black kid, a mixed kid, we got 2 white guys living with us. One of our babysitters is white, the other one is half Latin. Is Dez.
She's got spice. She's you, I think.
Dez
and
is
Mackenzie's
me, you know, and it's kind of cool because she is Latin and our boys do have different cultures of nannies that's raising them. Then, you know, it's my family and his family is cool. All right, I want to switch subjects because in about, are we good with 5 minutes, Chip, for the surprise? Okay.
Maybe less.
Okay. So I have a great surprise for you, but I wanted to switch subjects.
Okay.
This is like so crazy and so weird and probably very boring. But I had a dream last night,
his
y'all.
dream.
So Scott
He
knows,
has crazy dreams. Go.
I had this dream last night. It wasn't a sex dream. I know you guys all want it to be a sex dream.
I
I
kinda
had
must have.
those too, and they're very vivid. And even as a 42-year-old man, I still have. So anyway, but we can talk about that. If you want to join Wine Night After Dark, you'll get that conversation. But I had this dream last night that Scott and I were staying, you know, dreams never make sense. But Scott and I were staying in an apartment in a office building. So our apartment that we were staying, it was like an Airbnb, was in an office building, but we had the apartment. But if you walked out of the apartment, it was an office building. And so we were in the apartment, and then we ended up having to go out to dinner. And when we went out to dinner with Chip, Elliot wasn't there. He was probably being elegant in his role. But when we went out to dinner, Chip was there. It was me, Scott, and Chip. And I turned around, and Shalene Johnson and Brett Johnson were at the table behind us.
Crazy.
And I was just like, this is like so weird. Like, how do we get here? Whatever. This story is going to get crazy, right? So then that happened, and then people ended up showing up at Shalene and Brett's table, and I just have this vivid memory of Chip. He was probably on his computer like he always did. Anyway, so I spilled like a drink on one of Shalene and Brett's guests' like bag, and it looked like it was something that they needed. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna run to the store. Here's where shit gets crazy. So I run to the store that was a cross between an Hermes and a jewelry store. Okay, so if you don't know what Hermes is like a high-end bag, you know,
clothing,
whatever.
Apparel.
I think they have Birkin bags or
the
whatever.
bags.
Combined with like a David Yurman jewelry store, right? So I'll walk in, and when I walk in, I see men's room and ladies' room. But for some reason, I was like, that looks odd. And then I turn again, and it said the dressing room. And I was like, oh, maybe I misread it. So I look at the sales guy. It was a man in there. He was like, oh, no, the bathroom's over there. So, oh, my God. First of all, I don't know if y'all know, but Elliot told me the other day that if you wake up at 3 o'clock and you get woken up, it's the witching hour, and it's the devil.
It's the
So
devil
anyway,
coming into.
Wait a minute.
Get
This
closer.
shit is about to get crazy, y'all. So for those of you who were born between 1965
Be careful.
or before and 1988, right? For those of you like 60s to the 80s, you remember Freddy Krueger. Do y'all remember Freddy Krueger? Okay.
No.
All right.
Wow.
So Freddy Krueger.
Okay.
So check this shit out. So the guy that was working in the store in this dream said, there is that's the bathroom. So he's like, it's really weird in there. You got to go, whatever. So I open the door, and there's one light. It's a little bright, but it's fine. So I see the urinal all the way in the back, right? So I walk all the way back to the back of the urinal, and I accidentally dropped the bag that I was going to either exchange or, you know, buy a new garment for. And so anyway, I looked down to where the bag dropped, and it was in Freddy Krueger's basement, y'all. Now, at this point, I know I'm dreaming. I know 100% I'm dreaming. And so I learned in therapy a long time ago, like how to get out of my dreams, but I know I'm dreaming, and I'm like, I'm staying in this dream because I always wanted to go in the Freddy Krueger basement. So I go down there, and it's hot, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so fucking dope. Like, this is so cool, right? So now I walk back.
That's why the black person always get killed in the movie
That's
theater.
very
in the
true.
movies first.
That's very
They're the
true.
ones that go downstairs. Hello? Is there anyone down here?
I don't know why they always kill the black people first. I think I need to make a movie where the black
I
people don't
think
die.
Scream is coming out